Hey folks, this is Pradeep Thakre here. Welcome to PSTC Learning. So in today's lecture, we will going to complete the state boards science part 1 from the gravitation chapter, Kepler's laws. So we will discuss the three laws in detail today, and what has given in that laws will be discussed in detail, and also we will get to know understand about the what Kepler says about the different laws. All the laws will be covered in this lecture because I have written the three laws: Kepler first law, second law, and the third law, and also along with its derivation and the figure. So let's begin, friends. So we have given this diagram, and we will use this diagram to understand the different laws of the Kepler. So Kepler has proposed the three laws, friends, because before the Kepler there were no more study about the space, how the earth rotate around itself and how the earth revolve around the sun. No one knows the properly. Before that, the Galileo was also invented the biconculus, or the what we can say telescope, which had not much help to understand the basics, and after that studying the Galileo's basic, the Kepler given the three laws, so we can formulate these laws on the basis of different principles. So let's begin with the Kepler's first law, friends. One orbit of the planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. The Kepler first law actually states that if this is the position, means you will see these dots A, B, C, D, E, F. This will be the position of the earth when it is rotating around the sun. So that position denotes the different displacement by the earth. So friends, we will come to know that when the earth is revolving around the sun, we assume that the earth's revolution orbit is actually the circular, but it is not circular actually, it is an elliptical. Kepler's first law says that the orbit is not the circular, it is an elliptical. Means it says one of the orbit of planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. We can see this is the position of sun, and sun is not at the center of the orbit. Means this is the earth's orbit, and sun is not situated at the center of orbit because it makes the elliptical shape. Means sun is situated at one of the foci of the orbit. Earth's orbit is not making a complete circular path, it is also an elliptical. I hope you have understand the Kepler first law, because Kepler first law mainly depicts the two things. First one is Earth's orbit is not circular, it is an elliptical, and second one is sun will be not at the position of center around the revolution, it will be at the one of the foci. Means ellipse has the one corner, and on that corner the sun situated. Therefore we experience the summer and the winter on the earth, because in the summer the distance between the earth and the sun closes and closes, and due to that the very short distance of the earth temperature gets heated or will be rise, and in this season also the distance between the earth and the sun is very less, so that the summer comes, and summer experienced by the humans and all the animal. And in the winter the distance between the earth and sun getting large at this point. Means we can say sun is here and the earth is at the longest distance from the sun, and on that note the temperature of the earth decreases, and due to that the winter is experienced on the earth. So we will move towards the Kepler's second law. In this law we have given the line joining the planet and the sun switch the equal area and equal interval of time. This law discusses about the time and the area swept by the position of the earth. Means this is the sun. If we consider the earth takes this distance covered in the 10 days, means before 10 days earth was situated at the A point, and after 10 days it will displace to the B point. And if we will discuss the same interval of time with the C and D, means it takes the 10 days for C to D and 10 days to E to F. then the displacement will not be the same, because there is the, if the displacement is not same, there is the orbit difference. Means if the distance of the earth from the sun is very close, so it will cover more distance in the 10 days, and if the distance from the sun and the earth is very far, then the distance traveled by the earth from the sun and the total displacement will be less in that same duration of time. If the orbit is far distance from the sun, then the earth will cover very short distance in the 10 days. Means this law actually depicts the equal interval of time sweeps the equal area. Means I have told you two relations, the position of earth moving, also the second relation is the displacement occurred by the earth's rotation, and also it will make the equal area, and it sweeps the equal area in all three intervals. Means we have discussed the position of the earth from the different point, but along with that the area is let's say this is the O point, and O point equals means sweeps the area of AOB. So that area will be swept by on this second position, on this third position also, because it takes the equal interval of time, and from that it sweeps the equal area in the equal interval. Means if we calculate the area of this first position and then second position and then third position, we will get the same area in all three positions, because it takes the equal interval of time, and it will make that time to consider the equal area covered by the earth. This is the Kepler's second law, mainly focuses it on the area swept by the earth's position and the time interval or the time taken to cover that distance. So these are the two factors on which the Kepler's second law is based. So I hope you have got this point. Next we will move towards the Kepler's third law, friends. The law states that the square of its period of the revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the mean distance of the planet from the sun. This is actually the simple law which looks like very hard. So you can keep in mind with this actual equation, T square is directly proportional to R cube, because if the earth takes some time to revolve around the sun, the time square will be directly proportional to its radius. Means if the distance or the radius of the earth's orbit and the sun is closer, it will cover more distance, and if the distance between the earth and sun is very far, then the earth will cover very less distance, and it is the vice versa. Means time is directly proportional to radius. We can say if the radius is very far, means radius is large, it will take less time to complete this point, and if the radius is very we can say time is directly proportional to R cube. So if the radius is very less, it will take less time to complete more distance, and if the radius is very far, it will take more time to get complete that distance or equal amount of distance. Means if the time is increasing, radius will also increase. If the radius will decrease, then the time will also decrease in the proportion of square and the cube. So friends, we can conclude from this, R cube will be get in the denominator of the T square, it will get with the T square upon R cube is equal to C. Means if we removing this proportionality sign, we will get the equal to sign along with some constant. Means if we dividing the times square ratio with the radius cube ratio, we will get some constant value. So friends, these were the three Kepler's laws which are proposed by the Kepler, and these are the very important laws asked in the exam many times. So we have given this conclusion from all the three laws. These three laws help the Newton to formulate the Newton's law of gravitation. Means if we are studying the very important law of the gravitation, in that laws the Kepler's three law actually definitely helped to Newton to formulate the theory of gravitation. Also, this factor has helped the Newton very much to getting this theory. Also, the Kepler third law mainly helps the Newton to formulate the theory of the gravitation. So actually many times the question asked on the Kepler 3 laws, also it makes or asks the relation between the Kepler 3 law and the Newton's law of gravitation. It should be the Kepler third law. So friends, I hope you have got the point, and also you can make the short notes from these, only the statement along with its formula and the figure. So you can make the short notes also, and keep subscribing the channel to get more notification video in the future. So thank you so much friends.